Great. Are there any other logistics for the space today?
Just as I said before, I will leave 15 minutes earlier.
Okay.
And I will leave in 1 hour.
Okay. I have a proposal that it's just stick to 1 hour, so we all can share the space and everyone move on to their next journey.
Works for me.
Okay. No resistance there.
No resistance.
Okay. Great. And I'll take the baton off the bat, and I want to bring up the message that, yes, go ahead, Jay.
I have a logistic. I just need to let my dog out.
Okay, I'll wait.
I'll be 20 seconds. Okay.
Okay. Yeah, I want to call up the message that Keon that you sent into the group. I believe it was last week.
Yes.
And use it as a starting point for a conversation about this group. And it's sort of like putting the X on the map of this group. I have the necessity to put an X on the map because I have noticed that I have, yeah, it's like it's not even conscious. It's a very unconscious thing where I allow myself to put other things on the schedule on the same time as this call if they're, you know, more as if they're more important or something. And so I want to take this hour to ground back into my necessity in this group. Is there anything else that you want to bring in about this before going into it?
I have also this question of, who are you guys? Yeah. I feel like I haven't seen you in many deaths before. Like I haven't seen you, and you have changed. Like that's my sense, and I want to connect with you again where you're at. So if that can be woven into this question of what's your necessity for being in this space, I would be very joyful, be overjoyed.
I think it does not exclude itself. It's actually very combined.
Yes.
Yes. And yeah, Jay, for you, it's just a sort of a newer experience of being in part of this group compared to, you know, we've been working on this for, I don't know, I want to say it's been like two and a half years even at this point of different iterations. And so is there anything that you want or that you need or that would support you as where you are in relation to this circle?
Yeah, I've joined one meeting with this circle, and so it's still for me a bit of an investigative time to see really what is happening in this circle and what is the motivation and what is the purpose. Yeah, and so it's still early like that, Jeff. And yeah, that's, and for me, it's also, there's something about taking the wisdom that comes from this group and putting it into the men's circle in New Zealand. You know, the men that are doing PM work in New Zealand, you know, that you guys are living in different places around the world, and yeah, I can do that.
Yeah, I'm really glad you brought this up, because one of the primary sort of drivers of this group was that it was about men who hold space for men, who hold space for men's groups, men's circles. And I mean, that was a long time ago that we had that conversation, and a lot has happened since then. But somehow it still weaves through. And so, for instance, Keon left for 6 weeks or 4 weeks or 6 weeks recently, because he went to go hold space for a men's 5 weeks in the middle. He went to go hold space for a men's rage club. And so, and that, yeah, it's like, yes, go. And so, yeah, I'm glad you brought that back, because that's had been outside of my attention for a while, actually.
And I just jump in there with the reason why I will leave 15 minutes earlier, or we finish the call now. But anyways, the reason for that is that I start another men's journey for 3 months, and I feel ecstatically scared about it. It's and actually Jay will also be there, and Jorge will also participate. And I, at the moment where I'm at with this space, but also in general in my life, is I have this fire to be with men in their journey, in their transformation, and to unfold really these qualities of holding the sword that we have let down at each other's throat, basically, as men in our culture, like taking this sword back up. And I see how, like, I'm really ecstatically about this, and it's showing up everywhere in my life at the moment. I go to the sauna, I speak with men, I speak with them about patriarchy, I speak with them about the thing, and people are freaking out, people are jumping in. And it's but it feels alive and real. I speak with the people here in my community, and I feel like for the first time I really start taking actual stands with the people in my life for a new men's culture. Like, but because, for example, here a few, like a man who basically withdraws all the time from the community space, and I basically distance myself from him, and I started taking a stand for him and saying, no, I'm with you, even if you withdraw, even if you numb yourself out, I take a stand for you. And so there's really, through this work, I feel this, that something else becomes possible for me and for the relationship that I have with men in my life. And yeah, that's where I'm at in the moment. And I sense already the necessity coming, that maybe after this 3 months men's journey, there will be mixed spaces, because I think just men's work is not enough. There needs to be this that's a story I have at the moment, at least, that there needs to be the coming together of the genders and somehow working with that. And I feel this lion roaring in me for that, and it's so it's ecstatic. Yeah.
Thank you, Kian.
Thank you, Kian.
Thank you, Kian.
And one more thing, and I want to bring, basically, I'm also glad that you brought this in, Jay, because it was also not on my screen when we started this conversation. I want to bring again this is this a space for space holders for men into the middle of the circle? Is that what you're doing or what we're doing? And if not, why not?
Hmm.
Not as a bad thing, but as a curiosity, as a something to investigate.
So I heard two questions. One is that what this space is really for? And if yes, then what's are you doing it?
Yes.
Okay. Martin, do you have anything else?
What is popping up on my shoulder is, and also the context of the group. Right? I don't remember, there was this written text in the Telegram group about this regular meeting, saying what to say. It's how I just slip off, or this space holders for a man, this word in that context. Like space holders, or space for space holders for a man.
What do you mean it slip off?
Or I'm somehow either I do not remember it's written there, or it's not written there. So I would need to double check that. So that would be also see it as a written or some statement or written to the codex.
And Martin, how is it for you now, whether it's written there or not?
How is it for me right now being in the space, or how is it, whatever?
How is it? Yeah, okay.
Mhm.
How is it for you in the space? What is it that you're after? And is it that, are you here because you're a space holder for men and wanting to work with other space holders for men?
This completely also slipped out of me. Space is kind of, as I was not here in identity of a space holder for other men. I was here as a man who is discovering kind of how I'm relating to women, or how I'm relating, and actually not how I'm as a space holder for a man.
Mm.
I realized I was not bringing my challenges when I'm holding space for a man into this group, or I was not bringing where I am with that. So yeah, that's my perception from that.
Yeah, and I want to bring a distinction about that just was landing in me as you were speaking, which is that, like, for me being here as with my commitment to hold space for men, this thing of how I relate with women is also somehow part of this journey, because the more I get clear on my own underworld and my own stuff about that, and the more I can hold space for other men going through their own process. And I feel glad that you brought this up, because yeah, what is our anchor point? What is really the source of this? And why did yeah, how did what happened that it faded away, that it faded off into the background? And yeah, I think it's somehow we don't have these conversations often. We don't have these context deepening conversations often in this group. And okay, so I'll go first to somehow answer all the questions that that have been put into space. And yeah, I noticed myself wanting to go to this structure, wanting to go to, okay, I wrote all the questions down. Now I can just go answer them one by one. And instead, yeah, I want to just come back and be with you. And yeah, I think somehow that's where I am now. Just really wanting to be with people and not wanting to hold any structure or framework or maps in front of you. I feel sad because I've been coming to terms with how much judgment I have about everything, about people, about their behaviors, about everything. Like I have this really strong judgment machine, and the maps and the distinctions were amazing until this judgment machine just grabbed onto them and used them as, you know, fuel for more. It's like a Pokemon like leveling up into like a bigger, even bigger, more powerful thing. And I let that run for so long that it's you know, it tears other people apart, but it more than anything, it tears me apart. It tears apart my ability to be in connection, in friendships, in work teams, in village. Yeah, and I had a really good reason why every single one didn't work. You know, they did this, they didn't that, this space is that, they're childish, just low level responsibility. I don't want any part of that. And I don't want it. I don't want that anymore. I don't want to find excuses anymore for why things don't work. And my necessity right now is to keep unpacking this judgment machine, because I cannot hold space for anyone. I cannot hold space for men. I cannot hold space for myself. I cannot hold space for the relationship that I want to create with the woman who I'm relating with. I cannot do any of it with this thing so big and so in charge. And what I value so much from this space is how clear you men are, and how much you can you don't let the bullshit slide through. And there's also so much care, like there's so much love that happens here, and I don't have to even like qualify it, because it's just proven by the amount of time that we've continued to be together and to keep working through high times, low times in what the space has been. And I want that. Yeah, I want more of that. And I feel fear in what you said, Kian, about you starting this 3-month journey and you have to leave 15 minutes early, because it seems like that was going to be ongoing for the next 3 months. And I want to say I feel fear, and yeah, I don't want you to be gone for 5 weeks again. Like, I appreciate that you left to go do your thing, and I don't want you to be gone for that long again. I don't want to be gone. I don't want to be gone from your life and you from mine in this way for that long. And yes, I hold space for men. I have a men's group It's been going on for a long time, and I work with men frequently, one-on-one, and I'm creating, I'm creating more now with the White Widow research team, and I have a breaking up with mom space, a work talk that's coming up next week that I'm really, fueled and beaming about. And so this is another part of my research, is the relationship with mom and that for men. Yes.
Thank you, Jeff.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jeff.
I'm having a question, and I will ask you, Jeff. What is the uncontrolled thing you don't know yet about the work with a man? Because it seems that it seems that you know, like it felt like you know what is the path, and so what you don't know.
About working with men.
Yes. And maybe, yeah.
So I actually, right before you asked that question, I had this glimpse of how I relate with this group specifically, which is I just trust that it'll be there, and I just, I show up on Tuesdays at the time, unless there's something else that, something else that came up, and that I have not really sourced team. It's like we plan the calls at this time, I just know to show up, and then everything in the middle is whatever. And this is what I don't know about. It's like really to source team in a group of men.
You just did.
And well, I want to say also that, I've been trying to find this 3-cell for me. And I notice how I'm very blocked about it. So I keep saying like, yeah, I'm looking for it. I'm waiting for I have some people in mind. I'm gonna at some point make a group. And there's something that's just been blocked. And I think it's just a big fear it's this fear of like that if I ask for this and then I don't show up or behave in the way that I need to in order for this to work, that then I'll just be a failure, like and nobody will ever want to work with me. Like before, it was this fear that dangerous men don't want to work with me, and now I notice that it shifted, and it's like if I call on you and then I don't do it right, then I only get one chance, essentially.
Is this linked to the judgment side of things, Jeff? It's like a self-judgment going on.
Yeah, with the judgment comes a lot of self-judgment. A lot. And it's like this measuring thing, like is this the right thing to do? Is this the right thing to wait, what is this the right thing to say? Should I say, oh wait, and it's like it's operating quite not, yeah. I remember many years ago, it was like I thought it was me. I thought this part was me. And now it's a little separate, but it's still like really loud. And yeah, thank you for the question.
One more thing is that
So yeah,
That was Houdini. So we can
Yeah,
either wait to see him reappear or just keep going.
I take it that that uses up a lot of energy, Jeff.
The
One more
judgment,
thing.
the
Yeah.
self-judgment part you were saying takes up a lot of energy.
Yeah, just judgment in general, like, to be constantly in this place of measuring, whether it's yourself or other people.
Yes.
It's a lot of energy consumed, eh?
Sometimes it's like 99.9, it's like 99% of my attention is there. And yeah, I know I say 99 because I know it cannot be all of it. Like there is still a 1% somewhere, but I have not accessed it. I have not gotten to the point yet of experimenting to be aware of that 1% and then just like putting all of my focus on that 1% so that it can take over instead of this other part. But it's totally consuming sometimes.
One more thing to say.
I want to just finish something.
Okay.
It's interesting as you say this. I think back at times when I'm really like just hooked in this judgment, and I landed in Miami because from the men's group that I'm part of, a bunch of them or several of them are getting together here. So I hopped on a plane and I said I'll be here with you, and it happens to be Art Basel, which is like this big flamboyant art week here in Miami. That's like hundreds of thousands of people come, and there's like all these events, and those are places that I remember being there last year and getting totally hooked in this judgment, like, these people, unconscious, modern culture, patriarchal. And I just thought, wow, what an experiment it would be to go there again in this week that I'm here, go to some events and experiment with exactly this. So yeah.
Interestingly, I just 2 days ago, I discovered basically a similar thing for me. And I want to give some of the jewels that I found in this to you, Jeff, and see how they land for you. What I found was that judgment is a form of persecution. Basically, it's a form of the shadow being in control, being like you being committed to your shadow principles in this moment. And what I've come to see is that I do that because I want to prove a certain story. For me, the story is I'm going to prove to you and to myself also with this persecution, with this judgment of yours, that there is no love in this world, and or that I haven't experienced the love that you maybe have experienced, to be so free and uncaring as you are. And this is why I need to show you how the world really is. This is why I need to show you how the world really feels. And yeah, like I'm saying that maybe you have a similar story that you want to prove, that you're looking to prove with this persecution, this judgment.
Yeah. Yes, that it's all really fucked up. Yeah. And and I remember, like, again, when starting in the possibility management and talking about, patriarchy and modern culture and how it's destroying life on planet Earth, it was like, yes, you see, it's all fucked up, and I need everybody to know about this. And yeah, it comes from, it's I got this feedback once. I was like, I have this resentment towards the whole world, towards every single person. And I was like, no. And yeah, I think it's this. It is this. It's this commitment to proving how fucked up everything is.
Are you finished, Jeff?
Yes, thank you.
Thank you. Okay, when you were, I want to go next, and I like
So Mark, I just want to stop you 1 second. So we have 30 minutes left, and so that means that at the rate we're going, we might not have enough time for everyone to go, and I don't want to limit time. So what I propose is just go, and then whatever is left, we keep going next week.
yeah, no resistance.
Okay.
So, Kiani, you were speaking about how you are in a fire, and then what is my necessity, and then I'm coming to this part inside of me, okay, where I just feel sad, and the big question comes to me, like, where is my joy of holding space for a man right now? And I I I'm angry because then I'm coming to a stuckness, and then my sadness is oh, like I'm sad because it feels like there is some part where I would need to yet partly pretend that I'm like holding space, or there is something in school, because when I was opening that space, there was this huge part about, so I do it so I can be here, and this mechanism of, of okay, so this is what you do. And then I had a question like, okay, where is the joy of where is the joy that I am being in the spaces with a man where I am being discovering how is it for them to actually be living here in the planet, or how is it discovering for them to feel pain. And I am like and like fuck, I feel angry because it's like being on an edge, like being on an edge where I can shift into this point where I feel the sadness for being hurt a man, and having this pain of what is this fucking culture, and at the same time kind of having this part where I am withdrawing, or like I'm it's not withdrawing, it's like choosing the easy way, or like choosing the way where I feel the value, where I am bringing my energy with my hands when I'm working, when I'm creating, and the joy which I feel when I'm creating with my hands, like something building or creating that it will support something. Like it seems that I'm looking for the joy with the man, or when I would be holding space with a man. So I'm I'm no, it's like I'm juggling this space, or I'm juggling this and looking for that in a space where does it not, because I'm then having so much pain being that, or I'm having pain, or I feel sad. I feel sad because I can open a door for a pain which I feel about being with a man. And it seems and I have a tendency to say I'm not doing it. So like when I open it, I have a pain about Not being enough for that moment of I don't know, to really move something. It's like I'm
Martin, you said you are not enough for that moment to move something.
to be able to move something in a space.
Mhm.
And I know it just feels this pain, like I'm holding that for a long time, like I would not be able to move something in a space. And it's not completely true, but it's somehow I'm holding on that belief. And then therefore I'm not moving anything in a space.
Yeah.
Yeah. Martin, I feel sad when I hear you, also when you spoke before, because what I hear you say is said before is that you do not hold spend space for men. And what I hear you say now is that you're missing the joy in holding space for men. And I've seen you holding so loving spaces for men, who are showing up with so much joy and non-linearity, with so much care, with so much love. And when I hear you now, it's like you've forgotten these points of reference that you had already, the places that you are also. And what I hear is this pain of what it seems like this younger Martin who feels like he cannot move anything in his space. And I just want to, yeah, that's what I want to say.
So Martin, you chose to leave, at the 1 hour mark to go spend time with a man before he
Okay,
leaves.
I want to stop you right now, Jeff. It's like I know, it's like I fucking know that I have the part inside of me. I know I was holding space for Louis that he could transform and he was radical and all, like, I know I was standing here for Jesse and challenging him what the fucking is going on.
Mm-hmm.
And it's I don't just it's like I don't know what is like going on right now in my life, just like this point, but I feel so like
Go.
Oh,
it's not power like less powerful or just somehow like I feel like I left something somewhere. I expect them to be there with the man.
oh,
And instead of and instead of leaving that space kind of just flowing and it's not shallow, but it's just I left my anger behind because I decided, okay, I want to be discovering how is it to be heartful with man, but it's somehow like
mm-hmm.
Okay.
but it's just the anger is missing then. It's just the anger that I am making me here. And nothing letting that space kind of slip into I don't know, it's kind of into blah blah. It's kind of and it's kind of there is and I just kind of cannot grab it yet. About where is it movement, where is it sharp, and when there is the heart, it's like still yet. Where is my heart in the space that I can hold the space for a man, so I feel safe? He feel like he can make the next step, and here is my sword, so I can move him. So it's kind of being like, and that he moves, or like at least moves, and maybe he doesn't move. It's just
Yeah.
And the pain is about seeing the man not moving, and so I'm lately just fucking so much seeing people not moving.
Yeah.
In community, it's just and then I want to change them. I want to so much change them. I want to just see something else possible.
Mm.
Yeah.
And then I'm angry all the days. I'm like, I can't, but there's something in me that's possible. Like I try to contain that anger inside of me.
Yeah. And Martin, what I'm getting there is that your anger is still contaminated with your gremlin. This is why you keep it inside. This is why you can't let it out. And this is why it felt like you needed to put it away to be heartful with men.
There's a parent part there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So it's there. So and so okay. So like first option, like what to do, or I don't know, like being with it, or just trying to be with it. So it's like to the contamination.
So, but it's operating right now, right? You're trying to figure out what to do. What's the thing to do? Okay.
Yeah, because this is the way I don't know. This is how I learn.
Yeah. That's how you learned.
If I get rid of it, something else, or I can try to get rid of it. I can work on that.
And if you force it to get rid of it, in a sense, it just comes back around again.
Yes.
And Martin, you're in a new dynamic now. You used to have somebody around all the time that could be something for you, like in your space, and my guess is that that's not there anymore. So how is that working in you?
I feel lost in a way. It felt like Christina knows, or she would know what to do, or how I would be, or she would notice something, and in a way, I feel very lost.
Yes.
I am.
Yes.
Yeah.
She would know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, man.
And it just doesn't make sense, but it's just like I don't like. I can be catching something from the understanding of how I am being with men. I'm not having a reference point somehow now. All right, reference point where I would say yes. Oh wow, yeah, you are right. This is work. Like I am, like the reference point is I'm finding inside of me, and so it's like digging so deep inside of me where I just hide it.
Yes. Yes. It's like you could not fill the hollowness with anything anymore. Anything outside.
And I feel angry because and I still try to look. I'm searching for that, and I don't. And I don't know. It's like, tell me, how does it work? You know, comes the sentence, and I don't know. I'm speaking from somewhere where I fucking don't know who I am. But it's a sensation of that.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Thank you, Martin.
I think the space can roll further. I'm just digesting the space where I'm speaking from.
Okay.
Looking at you and being in contact with you.
Will you ask for support for that space that you're in? Doesn't need to be now.
Yeah, I'm not knowing how, like, what to ask for right now. Or I don't know if it's listening, but like, you know, I don't know how to crack like inside of me what just happens here. Or maybe I know, just like like, yes is my answer, like, to your question. And there comes like this first layer before. And then there was this like, okay, I'm postponing this idea to just have a listening spaces every day, just fuck up shit out what is inside of me. And it's not spoiling that space with just like just bringing out who I am in that space.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Martin, you said before you had this person who could always help you to help tell you, like, this is what's going on. This is okay. And now it's just you. And then, well, then you know what to ask for. You need a listening space. You need that or the other thing. Okay. Now it's just you. And it's not just you. You have people that you can say, I don't know what I need. Can you help me find out? You don't see that. I see that you don't see that as an option at this moment.
Oh,
Okay.
yes, and I know what you say it, but not before.
Right. And I appreciate that you're sort of putting an X on the map of separation, especially separation in a transformational relationship separation from a transformational relating space. I think this is like a huge thing.
It is a huge thing.
And I wonder, I'm wondering in this about when in a transformational relating space, like, is it maybe not healthy that I have my relating partner be the one who always helps me get clarity? Not always, but who is a huge chunk of it.
Yeah, and how do you not have that going on? You know, in such an intimate relating space. How does it not be so entwined that this transformation is happening for two people living so intimately together that, yeah, it doesn't emerge like that?
Mhm.
The point is to emerge even if you don't know, if you don't want, like the feedback is constant, just like happening, like the map of X. It's just the difference is about how, if I am perceiving the words and taking it as a true, or I am listening in between these words, or like listening for the actions or the reactions which are between, and it's my listening. It's not listening for the words of other person. That's my learning from that.
Yeah, and I'm in a relatively new relating space with a woman who's in transformation. And you have something, Martin?
Go.
Well, there's this big thing that people they keep saying, like, don't use your partner as your coach, don't do feedback, don't do processes together, just don't do it.
Mm.
And I'm getting it now. Like it's well, a new part of it's landing right now. And it's like there's this addiction. There's this addiction to the transformation work. It's like, well, but she's doing transformation, I'm doing transformation. Then we do transformation together. And it's like, whoa, okay, maybe not. No, I have my teams and I work with my teams. And I do not bring the low drama. I do not bring the reactivity. I don't process with her. And I've been given this advice, or it's just advice by many people. And so I decided in this relationship, I'm not going to do it. And it has been really helpful so far. And really scary because, okay, so what do we do now if we're not processing our shit?
Yeah. And so how do you actually keep such clear boundaries there? Is it something you remind yourself daily, or is it just a codex kind of thing that you've spoken to?
I'm glad you asked that, because Jacqueline and I are starting a couple space in January called Date Night, where we're going to have couples get together and work on doing just this, like talking and negotiating about their culture, like their relationship culture. And so we have done this a lot because we've been in trainings since we started relating. Like we met in trainings, we've been doing trainings, we've not really exited the training thing. And in the trainings, it's like that's where we have a lot of support from different people that help us negotiate and doing our own work. And she's doing the arc in women's relating, and I'm in a lot of men's spaces, and it's just like, yeah, it's like yeah, it really is a village. Like this relating space is not just her and I, it's this whole village. Like I have my whole tribe behind me, and she has her whole tribe behind her, and and it's like supporting this for this to exist.
Mm.
That the village is a yes for us to be relating, and so everyone's like on the team, and that way I have the team and she has the team, and the team is a yes.
Wow. I feel this when I hear you say that. I feel this pain coming up about the what happens at the moment between Laura and me, and where I still feel this addiction to a transformation with her. And I sense my gremlin in there. I sense this part that wants her to change so I can relate with her. So she's, yeah, there's some kind of control mechanism, some kind of trying to heal my mother or something like that. Trying to make her into this woman who, what is it? Who I don't have to feel this pain with that I usually feel. If my partner is not present, or if she's not on my team, or so I don't have to feel these kind of pains. And I wonder, like, I have this fear if that would fall away, if I would be with her. That's my fear, or like that I need to have this control mechanism so I can be with her. What I tell myself. I need to be able to give feedback, like, so she stays in line, doesn't get off track. And yeah.
So Kian, does she have a team?
Not, she has this community here, but it's not really a team behind her back.
Yeah.
But it's a kind of team. It's not, yeah, it's definitely more person.
It sounds like a no.
Yeah. No.
And you would, it's like, instead of giving feedback, you could say like, hey, I just can't keep doing this if you don't have a team, because I'm not going to keep giving you feedback anymore, and without feedback, this is not going to work. So you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'm just getting total waves of energy about this topic, and I'm sensing another work talk coming through.
We thought actually about joining the team. Like we didn't check out the timings yet if that works, but we saw your offer.
Oh, okay, great. And the time is completing now, and so my offer stands to pick this up next week.
Yes.
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 Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Thank you, Kian. Thank you, Martin.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jay. See you next week.
See you next
See
week.
you.
Yeah. See you next week, and
Bye.
see you soon.
Bye.
Yeah.